You're sitting on a gold mine in terms of VA ratings, and you don't even realize it. Most veterans don't realize the untapped potential of their 0% ratings, or even if they don't have any records, and they're just missing the one piece to tie everything together and really break the floodgates. Today, we're unpacking exactly what that is and why you see such a big difference in the tone when people talk about the VA. Normally, typically, a lot of veterans are complaining about the process. Oh, it takes so long, nothing but denials. But then you see VA Claims Academy clients, and it's a lot of celebration, and the tone is totally different. Today, I'm showing you that there's really no secret to it. It really is knowing a bit about the process and letting someone take over in your corner. So without further ado, let me teach you and show you how to take your 0% ratings, or maybe your low ball ratings, or the fact that you don't have a rating at all and no records, and turn that into a massive VA claim win. I'm Jordan Anderson with VA Claims Academy. Let's get into it. Let me give you a bold claim right off the bat. In my experience, almost any veteran, almost every single one, can win a VA disability rating. It's just varying degrees. But almost every single veteran who've served, especially if you've served for any significance of time, almost every veteran's entitled to a VA rating of some sort. And almost every single case is winnable using these three methods. Let's go through them, and I'm going to show you how this applies.
Now, before he goes through it, I just want to let y'all know that if you are a veteran, for me, at least, I feel as though you're rated at the percentage rated that you're giving. Now, I'm not saying like let's say you have certain things on there, like because I have bad hearing and I did a case for my hearing, but my hearing wasn't. It's like literally 10%, not even 10%, like 5% low to the max amount for it to be like an actual like rating, like for my rating to go up. But it's still on there as in like it wasn't denied. It still was accepted, but it just wasn't at that rating yet. That it's like, it will make my rating go up. Talking to the VA, they basically told me like, hey, no longer down in years, if your left ear and your right ear start to go down a little bit because you're literally at that 5%. If it goes down, then just literally go call us, do another claim, and then we do another claim. You will come in, they'll do the testing again because they say they already had the paperwork, so they will understand that your hearing went down, and then they said it will go up. You know, but my thing is basically what I'm getting around to. Don't don't take this video as what can I do to win a case of some bullshit story that I'll make up. Like, oh, I have sleep acumen, or my back hurt, my leg, my thighs, my knees, all this other crazy shit that people like to do to try to get their rating up. And it's like I get it, some people need it, you know what I mean? And I get times are hard, it's easy money pretty much, but I mean in a way I feel as though don't, you know, what can I say, don't abuse your situation to try to get your money up. Like it's just not for me. I know I have certain things that I personally feel like my rating should went up. I lost my memory overseas, and I had to relearn who my mother was, my family was, relearn how to do math. My English to this day is still kind of off a little. People think I have an accent, but it's really just like certain words I can't fully pronounce. You know what I mean? And I just had to relearn pretty much a lot of stuff. You know, I should have got out then and there, but at that time, um, I didn't know what I would do if I got out of the military around that time, and I didn't even know who I was at the time. And I'm like, this is the only area of whatever I have in my existence that what I mean. People telling me, "Oh, I'm going to take this away," and then you get this amount of money. I didn't even really consider money at the time. 'Cause I'm like, the fuck you mean money? Like, what are you trying to tell me? Like, oh, I can get 100%. Okay, cool. And 100% doing what? You know what I'm saying? So I didn't take it. Which now, if I was in my right mind, I probably would have. But now, like at this moment, it's like no, like I wouldn't. I was just like, but nonetheless, what I'm basically saying is like, don't take what his knowledge is, like his knowledge that he's going to give to you, and turn it into like, I'm gonna abuse this situation. Like, oh, I went in the army, never had anything wrong with me. Then all of a sudden I get out, I got PTSD and all this other crazy shit and blah 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 blah. You know what I mean? I'm gonna use his three steps or whatever like that to try to boost myself up. It's like, don't be that guy. Just don't.
To you and your specific VA rating situation to where you can actually untap the potential that you're sitting on right now without even knowing it. Let me list these out for you, and then we'll break down one by one what each one is. So number one, you want to start easy as possible in this, sort of troubleshooting process. Just like, let's see if I can type or write and spell at the same time while talking. I did it. I'm awesome. Just like you wouldn't start your car and then, maybe it cranks, but the engine doesn't start. The engine doesn't turn over. You wouldn't immediately start buying a new transmission, right? You would start easy. Okay, let's see. Let me crank it again. See if that works. Let me check my car battery. Let me check my alternator, something like that. You want to start as easy as possible. And that means presumptive conditions is where we start. I'm going to go through these and then we'll touch on each one after. Second, and this is exciting, secondary claims. When we open the can of worms that secondary claims entails, this is a near infinite flexibility to get you service connected for literally any condition that you're suffering from. So I can't wait to jump into that deeper. Now, number three is a bit more complex. I'm gonna call these semi-presumptives. So now is a perfect time to define, hey, what the heck does presumptive claim even mean? A presumptive claim is something like what we've seen recently with the PACT Act, that's P-A-C-T Act, or perhaps Agent Orange, right? You were exposed to Agent Orange, now you have this type of ailment, and it doesn't even matter if you don't have records from, not going to the doctor during service. Like no one went to the doctor during service. You are presumed to be service connected for a certain condition. So if you were exposed to burn pits, right? They were lighting feces on fire in barrels. There was gasoline fires, what have you, while you were deployed downrange. This is all covered, depending on your time in service. This is all covered under the PACT Act as a presumptive condition, meaning if you have COPD, you have asthma, and you were in Southeast Asia at these certain time periods, hey, we're going to cover you. It's automatically approved and service connected. Between that and secondary claims, almost anyone can win a VA rating. Let me show you how, okay? Before we get to that, what does semi-presumptive mean? This expands even further, not just the concrete, explicitly outlined presumptive conditions list, which I'll include in the link in the description of this video for you, by the way. Semi-presumptives means that, hey, you know what? In the real world, VA raters have a little bit of leeway. They have a little bit of say to give their actual opinion on something based on they say, confluence of facts, right? So based on how many facts there are, what your story is, where you're in service, they can kind of make a common sense decision in your favor, right? So why not leverage this? For instance, let's say that you were a small arms, weapons instructor. Now you're showing up and displaying signs of hearing loss, perhaps some ringing in your ears, right? Tinnitus. A rater, even though this is not an explicit presumptive condition, a rater could take the leeway and say, hey, you know what? Exposed to small weapons fire, small arms fire, it makes sense how they could have developed hearing loss, developed tinnitus, even though I don't see anything in their records. Or, hey, they were 11 Bravo, I could see how they could develop a herniated disc, degenerative disc disease from carrying heavy packs all of the time. They were air assault. I could see how they could develop foot issues from rappelling out of helicopters. I call these the semi-presumptive, aka common sense connections, okay? Let me show you the infinite wellspring that occurs when you take these three aspects. You combine them together and you analyze your own VA rating sort of strategy, your situation, you could piece together a victory if you think creatively and if you're vulnerable enough and honest with yourself enough to realize, yeah, this is probably connected to your service. Let me simulate for you exactly what I mean, and I'll draw it out. This is kind of a realistic scenario. Let's say right now you have tinnitus. So you got ringing or buzzing in your ears, and it's not service connected.
About tinnitus, I have it, but for my rating, and I'm very confused of the rating situation still to this day because I have it and it is my PTSD and my head injury that I have. They kind of combined it together because it's a mental illness, so they combined everything together with me having memory loss and I see my like relearning everything, yada yada. They kind of combined that together and gave me like a solid like 70%. And then the tinnitus they gave to me as well as a 10%, which will should put me at 80, but it kept me at 70. So I'm not totally sure. That's something obviously I'm gonna have to call the VA and ask about, but yeah.
Okay, let's say you didn't go to the doctor at all during your military service, and your service was 35 years ago, which, by the way, we've had clients win 30 plus years after being removed from the service. It is possible, it's not very difficult. Okay. But you are service connected for, let's say, high blood pressure. Okay. And the VA generously gives you a whopping 0% rating for that service connected hypertension, okay? That high blood pressure. Remember, they denied you for tinnitus already, and you also have migraines, okay? You have migraines, maybe you're taking over the counter meds for it. You've probably had them for the last few years, never thought to claim it, all right? And also, the migraines and the tinnitus is really annoying and kind of makes you cranky. This is a very common situation. So you got a 0% rating right now. You're probably thinking, yeah, this is probably just what I got. Maybe I can get a 10%, what have you. Let's piece this together and tell you how I would analyze this using these three aspects right here. So let's for a second just pretend that maybe there are no presumptive conditions at all. You checked the presumptive conditions list. Yeah, I don't apply, I don't qualify for anything. We'll treat this as an icing on the cake just to keep it as sort of conservative of a strategy or a simulation as possible for you, right? For those of you watching. Secondary claims, that's where we can have some fun. Semi-presumptives, we'll get into that, okay? So the tinnitus, the hypertension at 0%, again, we have migraines. And also remember, we're cranky. First thing that you need to know is that you have a tremendous opportunity here in that you are already service connected for this hypertension, okay? Being service connected, even at 0%, allows you and affords you so much flexibility in secondary claims. This is a great opportunity to explain briefly what a secondary claim even is. A secondary claim means that you're already service connected by the VA, meaning that you have a rating of 0% or higher. Because vets, having a rating of 0% doesn't mean you were denied. It means you were approved. You're service connected, right, by the VA.
I literally just went over this earlier. I don't know what is in my eye. Um but I went over this literally a couple minutes ago. Is that the simple fact that when I had tinnitus, well, when I went to hearing and they said that my hearing wasn't there yet, but it could get there to the point that I will have like my rating will go up, like they give me rating for it pretty much. But they had it at 0%, but they did not deny it. So my thing was that I didn't go too far with hearing just because like yes, I would love to have a hearing aid because it will help a lot. Because for me it seemed like even if I'm around a person they start whispering or something like that or whatever have you, I can't really hear that much of it, but I just like I'd be more high alert of it. So if I hear like a little ting or I'm sleeping, I hear a little thing at night, I come and get up just because I know for a fact I can't really hear that well. So I know that I don't want to be sitting there like, just a branch, just probably to win. I just go up and check, which most likely is a win. San Antonio gets very windy down there. Like at night, it gets windy, like randomly. Like that's the whole reason why I keep my car in my garage because I walk outside after washing my car and it'd be a bunch of sand and I wouldn't say sand, but it'd be a bunch of dust and stuff. But that makes sense though. That makes sense what he's saying though. Like basically, like just because you got a 0% doesn't mean you got denied it. It just means that they accepted it. It just, yeah, I get that.
But it's just non-compensable, right? It's not compensatable by the VA. A secondary claim means that you can claim a condition secondary to hypertension in this case, because it's rated at 0% or higher, and get a new condition service connected even without, fellow vets, listen to me, without medical records from in service. What could we possibly get service connected here as a result of hypertension? Well, okay, so if you're a VA Claims Academy client or you just have a really good doctor or something, we would know. We would go into PubMed, we would go into the NIH, and we would go ahead and do some research to pull peer-reviewed literature showing and showcasing that migraines can be triggered by hypertension. We send that, forward that to the doctor. The veteran-friendly doctor says, yep, I see the peer-reviewed literature. My butt is covered. I'm going to go ahead and cite this and give a positive nexus opinion that it's at least as likely as not that your migraines are a result of your service-connected hypertension. Oh, and by the way, we see that you have migraines multiple times per month and that you have to lie down in a dark room, rotate ice packs, and you can't, maybe you sell things on eBay. You can't sell things on eBay during your migraines, therefore it's impacting you financially. That's a 50% rating. Okay, we're just getting started. That's a 50% rating made from a 0% hypertension service connection through a secondary claim. Now, some of you might be asking, what conditions qualify for secondary claims? Any condition, provided that your medical expert gives you that positive nexus opinion. Perhaps they think your tinnitus was caused by your high blood pressure. I don't know. I'm not a doctor, but if they give that nexus opinion, then you have a valid opportunity, a good chance at winning the claim. All right. So just to give you an idea, that's what I'm saying when I'm saying that basically any veteran could win a VA disability claim. If you start from here, any condition can be claimed to any other condition as a secondary claim, provided there's a positive nexus opinion by the medical professional. Okay, fellow vets, if you're getting value from this so far, do me a favor, hit that thumbs up button for me. Okay, we have a couple of other things still on the board here. What about the ringing in the ears, right? So what if this was a semi-presumptive? Okay, what if you were qualifying on the M16 and the M4, right? Okay, you had M4, M16 qualifications multiple because you were going down range multiple times. Well, you write a quality, excuse me, you write a quality personal statement telling your true story to the VA because you're feeding that VA rater exactly what they need to hear to rate you favorably. You see what I'm saying? You have a story that makes sense. Tell the rater so they can make a common sense yes approval on your claim. That's our semi-presumptive. Hey, being in the military was really loud. Here's why. And ever since then, I've had this ringing in my ears, but I'll be honest, I never went to the doctor for it until recently. Let's say they give you that. Boom. It's a 10% rating right there. Okay? Now what happens? We know this is big, vets. This is where you can really start skyrocketing your VA rating. So listen up here. We know that ringing in your ears, is this annoying or not annoying? It's annoying, okay? Some forms of torture, and a lot of you know this, is in the form of sound, right? So when you're driving through enemy lines and you're playing the loudspeakers of the babies crying over and over and over again, right? That's a form of torture, right? It's loud sound could really drive you nuts. Could really drive you nuts. The medical community knows this. They acknowledge this. Therefore, tinnitus, this sound that you cannot get away from because it's in your own head, could that be related to being cranky with your spouse, with your kids, with your grandkids? I could see how a medical professional could think so. Do you see where I'm going with this, Feds? So what if this crankiness, you went to the doctor and actually, hey, they say, hey, you're not actually cranky. You've got something called SSD, or somatic symptom disorder. I'm going to clean some of this up here. I know this is messy. You've got something called somatic symptom disorder. What does that mean? That means that your really annoying sound is annoying you. Common sense, right? You see how we're building this based on common sense? And that's how you know that it can work, right? I hope this is resonating with you. You've got something called somatic symptom disorder, which is a diagnosed mental condition, which, by the way, has an average of 70%. So I cleaned this up for us, right? Let me show you the artistry behind engineering a solid VA claim, which takes your true story and your true suffering that you're dealing with and coping with in silence, convincing yourself that you're fine, convincing yourself that it's not actually related to your military service somehow. And when you're vulnerable enough and honest enough with yourself, which you don't do, by the way, right? Because you've been conditioned to be a warrior, to have service before self, to have your squad mates before self, to have your brother or sister in arms before self. And now it's time.
I would say he's not wrong in a way, but not going to the doctor doesn't have nothing too much to do with being like, oh, I don't want to go there because the person next to me is not going to the doctor. It's not like that. It's being in the infantry. Most of the time, going to the doctor for anything shows signs of weakness. If I go to the doctor and I told them that my back was hurting, they would just looked at me like, "Oh, did you try muscle relief? Did you stretch out your back? Do you want to do this?" And they just send you to physical therapy, and then physical therapy would just lay you down, do a little whatever, and they'd be like, "Okay, yeah, you should be fine." But you go back to them like, "Hey, man, still having these back pains." They're like, "Well, I don't know." You stretch out your muscle, and they give you like a little pamphlet for you to go home. Give you like a little what you call that thing? It's like a little rubber, like foam kind of thing. They say, "Oh, just rub your back and forth through it twice a day, one in the morning, one at night." You know what I mean? Do it during PT time. PT is our physical activity that we do during in the morning for being in the military. And they would tell you that, and then you're just like, okay, well, I'm doing all these steps, and it's still not working. What's the whole point of me even going through these steps in the first place? You know what I mean? So certain things that's like military wise, you just know there's like, bro, I'm just gonna go over loops and stuff like that. Like it took me almost a year, and I've been in the military. Well, I would say more than that, honestly. It took me over, I would say, 3 years. I would say close to a year when I first was in Campbell for me to get a beard profile. I shave my beard. They see the whole chunky, nasty, bumpy stuff that comes all around my beard for them to be like, have you tried this cream? Try this cream. Try this cream. My hair started growing in. Hey, shave your beard now. Let's just see how the cream reacts to that. Let's just see if it clears it up. It comes back looking nasty. It just look like I'm just like some weird ditty dude with a bunch of fucking baby oil around a bunch of bumps around my neck. Then finally they looked at it and was like, you know what? You need a shaving profile. You think? You get what I'm saying? So it's like sometimes you don't go to the military doctors or anything like that because they give you these lame ass steps for you to follow, and they want you to go through the pain so they can see and evaluate where your pain is at, and then go from there and decide whether or not is it valid or not. It's kind of like with your back pain. They can't feel your back. They can probably touch on your back to feel like it's tension and stuff like that. And they just give you exercises and certain things to kind of relieve it. But other ways, otherwise, they just look at it and be like, oh, well, do better. You know what I'm saying? So in the infantry, sometimes it's kind of just like you look at those things, and you just like, what's the point? I might as well just suffer in pain than to go through all that and realize I'm still in pain. Like, cause you can go to sick call, which I did in the past. I went to sick call because I had gotten in a car accident and my left leg was just weak. Like my right leg was fine, but my left leg was noticeably weak. And it came to the time when I say I'm running. I can run fast when I'm sprinting. I'm just sprinting hard on my right leg, and my left leg just kind of just like stepping along. You can think of it as like riding a bike. You push your right leg pedal down, then your left pedal, and then your right pedal, and you're just kind of pushing forward. But for me, it felt like I was pushing my right, then my left kind of comes in, then my right comes in, then my left comes in like a little like I don't know, in a car scenario, because I love cars and engines and stuff. In a car scenario, I feel like I'm in a force like a two cylinder, and cylinder one is not pushing as much power as cylinder two. It's dying in one cylinder. That's how I feel. I know this may sound a little off compared to some people who don't know too much about engines or just kind of like the fuck are you talking about? But it's just in the sense of like at that time my leg was just like weak, and to this day it's still low weak, but it's like what can you do about it? You know what I mean? I can go to the VA and claim it, but it's like what they gonna say? Oh, well, you can still walk on it, can't you? You can still run, you just can't run as fast. I mean, is it hurting you doing work? You know what I'm saying? Like they're not gonna really care too much, so that's why I never claimed it. It's like it is what it is. You know what I mean? I can still live. I think the highest I can ever go is only like 190, which is so little. But I also have back pain, so it kind of goes into that I can't really push as much weight as I want to, but I'm still pushing weight. You know what I'm saying? So they're not gonna look at it as, oh, well, you're still working out. You're not that hurt, but it's like, you know what I mean? But I stopped doing that a long time ago. I don't even squat anymore, to be honest. Those are my glory days. I was like doing pretty good. Like I think the highest I got up to like 220 back in my good old days. But now I don't even squat at all. Like I haven't squatted in like 3 years. Like I kind of just get on machines when it comes to legs. Like I don't squat. Um, but nonetheless, what I'm basically trying to say is that some people in the infantry world, not other MOSs, you know what I mean? It's just for us, we know that going to the doctors or the medics for anything is a sign of weakness. Like if I have a migraine, you're like, oh, you have a migraine, drink water. It's like, oh, well, I'm just wanting a little pill, maybe an aspirin or something, you know what I mean, or a leaf, to kind of help me out, or my nose is running, maybe I just need some cold medicine, you know what I mean, to get me around. They just look at you like, bro, get the fuck over it, drink some water. You know what I'm saying? So it kind of dives into that one of the reasons why some people don't do it, but it just depends on the MOSs. Because I know one of my friends, she was in the Air Force, and she was a I don't know what she do, to be honest. She was on a desk most of the time. I believe she was a dentist, but she didn't do any dentist shit. All she do was like schedule soldiers in when they come in. She just scheduled them and stuff like that, and that's all she do. And then when she got out, because she was going to the doctors a lot too, saying that her fingers hurt, her back was hurting for sitting down for too long and all this other stuff. And she got a higher rating than me. She got 80%, which is crazy. But I mean, it is what it is. But uh,
Time to finally have your family before yourself, your loved ones before self, and you're giving them the short end of the stick, right? If you're not being upfront, being honest with yourself, and looking into how to maximize your VA disability rating, which, by the way, you've earned and deserved, but if you're ignoring the fact that you're being diminished, you're doing your loved ones a disservice, right? So, let me show you the artistry behind this. You have high blood pressure. Now you're thinking creatively. Wow, this 0% rating that I've been taking for granted actually has tremendous value, and here's how. I just went to my neurologist to finally get treated for my migraines, which I've been dealing with the last 15 years, but I've never gone to the doctor for them, right? Just taken what over-the-counter Excedrin, whatever it is over-the-counter you were taking. And they think that my high blood pressure can be a contributor. I just got a Nexus letter, right? Or I had to pay a veteran-friendly doctor at vadisabilitydoctors.com, for example, board certified doctors. You're paying for their time out of pocket. It could get pricey, but in this case, is that worth it? Heck yeah, that's worth it. Okay, link to that is in the description below as well. And the high blood pressure led to us winning this secondary claim for a 50% rating because it's led to that economic inadaptability. Can't sell on eBay when you're on the floor lying down or trying to get a nap. Sleep off the migraine. The tinnitus. You were heavy machinery maintenance, okay? Or maybe you were working on machinery on the boats and it's real loud all the time. Perhaps the 3M earplugs have failed you. And this makes common sense, but you're not relying on the VA examiner to be telepathic, okay? You are bringing your true story and putting it right in front of that VA rater's face through the form of a good personal statement. It's what we do for clients at VA Claims Academy, right? When I approve and have drafted every single personal statement draft for every condition, that's important. Why? Oh, we only won 10%. No. We just won a connection to get this on average 70% somatic symptom disorder, which again is a mental diagnosis. We just won the ability to connect and anchor that to the tinnitus, which is valued at 10%, but we just attached a 70%, boom, right onto it. That's the strategy here. This is how you make sure you're not spinning your wheels, right? We turned a 0% rating. Let's do some math here. 70% plus 50% VA math, that makes 85% plus a 10% that gets absorbed VA math. You're going to get paid a 90% disability compensation pay rate, which right now is you've just gone because of this strategy. And again, this is why you see VA Claims Academy clients, the tone is very different because they're making $0 per month for their loved ones. Again, this is who benefits from it. Your loved ones, your family members, you're diminished. This helps take care of them. Now, at the 90% rate, as the time of filming this video, you're making right around $2,300 every single month, tax-free, which by the way increases every year with the cost of living. Do normal pensions do that? No, they do not. Normal pensions are also taxed. Normal pensions
Okay, I don't know why my shit just went fast like
also don't
that.
bring you all the other
Okay.
flood of benefits that comes with being 90%, in addition to perhaps your state has benefits, maybe your property taxes get vastly reduced. This right here is life altering. I have clients who they'll start at zero, maybe they get 100%, maybe they get $2,300 per month, and they send me videos months later and they're retired somewhere like Dominican Republic. One individual in particular, this guy was a real warrior, super humble, very bad PTSD, and now he's dealing with that very well in the Dominican Republic, doing bachata in the sun, okay? That's the type of life-changing outcome that this strategy could have. I really hope that this makes sense, okay? So let's go very back to the top and see what are our core three, then I'll let you go. Presumptive. First thing you want to do, you want to scan. Am I leaving any easy, low-hanging fruit on the table because I just need to file for something that's going to get automatically approved, right? Good saying I just heard of, don't jump over dimes, don't jump over dollars to pick up dimes, right? So you want to go ahead and check first, am I leaving any free money on the table? If the answer is no, okay, do I have any 0% things that are already service connected that I can connect a secondary to? That's huge. We just saw how impactful that could be. And number three, okay, If not, if I don't have any 0%, could I get any 0% through something like a semi presumptive? Does my story, my true story, make sense? That, hey, I can see how you ended up with flat feet because those combat boots and all those marches. I can see how you ended up with plantar fasciitis. I can see how you ended up with a shoulder injury by carrying heavy ordnance, even though you didn't go to the doctor during service. Don't shortchange yourself. Give yourself a chance. Articulate your true story in the VA's language by using a solid personal statement and give your loved ones the odds to get compensated for what they deserve. I really hope this helped out, fellow vets. Again, hit that like button for me if this provided you value.
Now, some of the stuff I get what he's saying. That is like when you get that 0%, you're not getting denied it. They accepted it, but it's just they don't look at it as kind of like it's kind of not service related, but they don't see is at the point where they need to give you compensation for it. Now, when he says like you got tendonitis, you have ringing in your ear, that can get annoying. You can get migraines and stuff like that. If you say, "Oh, I got migraines, I'm getting cranky, like it just annoying me," something like that. I think what is called SSD or something like that. Then they would look at it like, "Oh, well, the dude got tinnitus and he's getting cranky and he's talking about having ringing in his ear and is messing with him during work and stuff like that." Then yeah, they will give you 10% or a little bit more from that, or some course of action they would do. I get that, but my problem with it is that I don't want it promoting for people who don't really have anything wrong with them, and then using this as a stepping stone of, oh well, I got, I don't know, let's just say I got acting like I can't sleep at night, and also I have ringing in my ear. But since this dude said that, now I'm annoyed. I need Motrin. I'm this, that, and the third. I'm Frankie, like this and that. Like I'm like saying all this other stuff. Like how he said his friend was in the Dominican Republic dancing and stuff like that. It's like that doesn't sound like someone with high chance of PTSD. Like for me, I have a bad PTSD. I don't really go out that much from it, and I mean, even to this day, I still see some of my friends that I saw them in bad situations sometimes when I'm just driving down the road, hanging off of a tail light. Like it just, I just have moments one now and then, but like I just feel like this can help people who's in that situation and just like how you said, like, hey, I'm at 70% and I need to get up to 100 so this will help me and my family and stuff like that. And yes, I have situations where I'm going through some stuff that I can't work and this will help me, stay at home with my kids, but also, bring some good income to my family and stuff like that. Fully understand that. But I just don't want the grown people abusing this. 'Cause I've been in the military where I had people that should never gotten in at all. Should never. And I'm talking about the ones that just complain about every little teeniest thing. Oh, I can't go there. I had one guy who lied about hurting himself because he didn't want to go overseas. How do I know he lied about hurting himself? Because after the simple fact they told him that he didn't want to go to see, his attitude went from I want to hurt myself to oh my god I'm great. He come to work great. He's showing now. He's doing good, kind of on PT and stuff like that. He told my son when we leave he's gonna push. You know what I mean? He's gonna try to lose some weight. He's gonna do this and that third. He think about taking leave to go out with his wife. You know what I mean? Because they don't really go out that much. Try to do a vacation and stuff. All of a sudden his attitude changed. He even said it like later on that like, no, I wasn't want to hurt myself. I just honestly didn't want to go overseas. It's little shit like that that makes me think about people like that. That's on here or on his website or on looking at his channel or whatever like that, trying to get their percentage up. That does not deserve it at all. Now I can't really say who deserves, who do not deserve, because it's not my right of saying. But I know some people who went in the military that had zero problems. That just trying to stack up their stuff to try to get money. And sometimes I mean, it's not for me to say, but I don't like it. You know what I mean? It's like it's like watching someone else wearing a ranger tab on their shoulder and they never went to ranger school. It's like watching someone saying, "Oh, I went to combat. I went to Afghanistan, and I did this and that, and shot at some people, blow some people up, and all this other crazy stuff. And then you ask them like, "Hey, so where were you at in Afghanistan?" I don't remember. I forgot. It was so long ago. What was you? What duty station were you stationed at before you went over there? I don't know. I forgot. It was so long ago. I forgot, man. You know how it is. What I mean. It's like certain things that is like I don't know. It's just pissing me off, especially when you talk to someone that's lying. You know what I mean? Um, I get it in his scenario. Like, if you have a percentage, like, because I have tinnitus, I have like a 10% of tinnitus, whatever. And I get it if you say like, oh well, I need migraines because the ringing does get annoying to me after a while. Like, it gets incredibly annoying, especially when you're in a conversation with someone and you can't really hear it because it kind of I don't know. My hair kind of domes out where it got like I got earplugs on, and then all you hear is like just ringing, and then someone's talking to you, and then after it goes away, because it feel like it always picks up at the right terrible moments. Like someone could talk to me, and as they talking to me, I'm listening to what they saying, and then it's just and then it goes away, and then like yeah. So what you think about that, Brian? You think that's the right thing to do, right? I'm like what? like I don't know what you just said, bro. And then they think I'm being like sarcastic. I'm like, bro, I'm dead serious. Like my ears just pop like when you start talking after a while. Like I ain't hear shit you said. Like I get some people like that. It's like, yeah, I'm gonna need something for that, my guy. Like, you know what I mean? But some others is like you going into sick call because you potentially, want to hurt yourself because you don't want to go do this, or we going out to um 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 Louisiana for folk to go train, and you're like, I don't want to go there. I don't want to be out in the woods for a month to go train there. You know what? I feel like my back hurting now. Yeah, yeah, my back hurt. Yeah, yeah, I can't go, guys. I'm gonna go to the hospital and they're making all these appointments. So doing all this stuff, talking about my back, my back, my back, my back. I can't go. I can't go. I can't move my back. Da da da. And all of a sudden, as soon as they go, all of a sudden now you're better. You know what I'm saying? Like I hate people like that, but it is a good informational video. I'll give you that. It really is. Um, it gives me a lot to honestly think about because my chart is pretty like I have a bad hit, like really bad hit injuries over the course of me being in the military. So it gives you a lot to think about. And it I mean honestly, you're trying to get 100%, opens up a lot of doors. But but yeah, man, I'll see you on the next one, man. Peace.